Tell me, has this ever happened to you? You're sitting down watching a movie with your family when all of a sudden, bam, a gay character shows up on your screen. So then you, being the God-fearing man that you are, have to turn the TV off as quickly as possible before the woke mind virus takes a hold of your children and turns them into one of them homosexuals. Now, if you can relate to that story, then I think this video is for you. It's always fun filming bits like that until you're done, and then you remember that there are actual people out there that would unironically agree with you in that scenario. So around about 3 to 4 months ago, a man by the name of James Carrick created a website that's supposed to be the conservative alternate version of Rotten Tomatoes. The website in question is called Worth It or Woke, where they review movies in regards to whether they deem them worth it or woke, hence the name. But sometimes there are movies that land in the middle, which is considered wokish. They're kind of progressive, but hopefully not too much. Now, I don't want to nitpick too much right off the bat, but when you go to their website, you are just bombarded with an insane amount of ads. Like, I can barely tell where the ads begin and where they end.
Want a break from the ads?
So let's see what good old buddy James has to say about his own website. The growing disparity between what audiences think about a program and that of the professionals has finally increased to the point that it can no longer be ignored. So we have decided that our religious conservative voice needs to be heard. And so we bring you Worth It or Woke. Progressivism in film isn't new. However, what makes a film woke is forced radical progressive messaging, writing women as snarky prats who are better and smarter than every male in the film, Disney's not-so-secret gay agenda. So as you can see, this guy is pretty dumb. Without reading any reviews, I don't think I would trust his opinion on movies, because he is obviously not watching movies with the right intention. He is watching movies while wanting to be upset. Also, I'm not going to dive into this today, but Disney's not-so-secret gay agenda I have never understood, because I think I can count on one hand the amount of movies that Disney has made that has had an outright homosexual character. Like, most of the time it's just like someone in the background or like two people walking past the screen or something, and like conservatives like freak the fuck out because, I mean, if the person on the screen is gay, doesn't that mean that I'm gay too? I can't be watching something if I don't agree with everything about it. This is why I watch Taxi Driver, because I'm an insane killer monster, because I'm a conservative.
Let's say you've been a bad girl. Let's say, hypothetically, you've been a naughty girl even.
I also love the fact that they have this meme, if you can call it that, of Jeff Foxworthy with a quote that says, "If this pisses you off, you may be a woke douchebag." Yeah, you can't convince me that James is not in his 50s when he is posting a Jeff Foxworthy meme. Dude, please get off the internet. And as you'll come to see as we get further into this video, James is not a big fan of women. I know he specifically said snarky women, but he really just doesn't like women, which I think is really funny, considering the fact that there are 4 people on his team, according to his website, and they've all written reviews for him, except for the one woman, Nevaeh Dorsey, because if you click on her profile, nothing comes up, which doesn't really surprise me because James is a big fan when women don't have a say in things, but I do think it's funny that he has a woman on his team to probably make it seem like he's not a misogynist while being a misogynist. But why don't we take a look at some of these reviews? Let's see what his actual opinions on these movies are, because he claims to like movies, and if you make a reviewing movie website, I would expect you to have an inkling as to how movies work. So let's see if he really understands movies or if it's all for show. So first, why don't we start off with a movie that's non-woke, like Meg 2. So first, they're giving some of their thoughts on the movie, on like why it's not that great. I mean, it's the Meg 2. No, it's Jason Statham. It's not good. But here towards the bottom is where he has the woke elements in it, where his only complaint is that there are an inordinate number of female characters in traditionally male roles in the film. However, none are girl bosses or particularly snarky. So right off the bat, I think we can see what James finds as woke. And that's when women what, you may ask? Just women, okay? They're woke. Listen, we're living in a day and age when women are taking over the workforce. They're taking the jobs away from all these men, okay? These were traditionally male roles, and now women have them. That's woke. Get with the times, guys. This is the Illuminati's agenda. Another movie that he deems as non-woke is, surprisingly, Oppenheimer, which I think is pretty funny because if you watch the movie and actually think about what it's saying, I don't think you would be on Nolan's side, James. Just saying, you might want to go and rewatch it again because it's a little bit woke. Okay, I'm gonna be honest here, it's a little bit woke. But according to him, the only woke moments in this movie was the stuff that they talked about with communism, and then they made sure to shoehorn in a moment of misogyny. Because guys, misogyny doesn't exist in the real world, okay? They put it in movies because movies are fake. and misogyny is fake. Misogyny doesn't actually happen. I am trying to think back though to the movie, and I genuinely can't remember a moment of misogyny in the movie. There very well might have been a moment in there where someone was being misogynistic and it was portrayed as bad, which it is, but I can't remember it. Like, it doesn't stand out to me, which just goes to show you how obsessed this guy is with finding these woke moments in movies. Like, hey, if you're a movie enthusiast, maybe you should pay attention to the things that actually make a movie good or bad instead of talking about women. So let's go to a movie that's a little bit wokish. Let's see some movies that have some more woke tendencies than not. Let's go to his review of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, where in the woke elements of the movie, he says there's a 10-second scene in front of a high school bulletin board in which only 2 things are in focus: an improv sign-up sheet and multiple narratively irrelevant gay pride materials. Okay, so we got one out of the way. The gays. They should not exist in movies. Now let's see what else this movie did that's bad. The heroes are shown vandalizing and destroying private property and stealing from businesses. While it makes logical sense that they wouldn't have any money and would have to resort to this, the modern preference for dragging out heroes into the dirt for the sake of a couple cheap laughs is very woke. I'm sorry, what? I was trying to be sarcastic and go along with this list for the sake of the bit, but holy what are you saying? They're kids. This is a movie about talking turtles, and you think that stealing money is woke? Okay, so if you are writing these down at home, so far you should know that gays should not exist in movies, women should not be in positions of power in movies, and also stealing money shouldn't ever happen in movies, ever. Like, for the sake of a plot point or anything, it should not happen, period, because that's woke. This is exactly what the liberal media wants you to believe. Okay, but let's move to the next one. The last one on the list, April O'Neil's character as a high school student worked. However, by now, we all know that her race has been annoyingly changed. You might not know she is borderline morbidly obese, because fat equals healthy now. Moreover, Leo thinks she's stunningly beautiful despite her very unhealthy weight, because nothing says hot like front butts. Oh my god. And if you're still writing these down, we can also never have people that are overweight in movies. How do you become this dumb? James, please tell me how this cartoon character's weight affected the movie in any negative way, other than the fact that you didn't like looking at her because, well, she's not white and she's not a man. I don't understand how these people function in society. Like, when you're walking down the road, do you just look at everybody walking past you and you're just constantly judging them because they don't look exactly the same way that you do? And even in that fake scenario that I just made up, at least that's in real life. You're talking about a cartoon. You are getting offended over a fucking cartoon. Don't you think that's a little beta? Don't you think you're being a bit of a pussy? Just saying, most people don't get upset over the way a specific cartoon character looks. But now let's see what he has to say about Elemental. Now, I'll be honest, this isn't a movie that I watched, and it's probably not going to be a movie that I watch, but I'm curious about his opinion. It's the gayest Disney film to date. Yeah, you know, whenever you make a movie about a male character and a female character that end up in a relationship, that's pretty gay. I'm gonna just be honest here, guys. That's a little gay. That's a little sus. I'm not gonna let my kids watch this one. Okay, so I just read his reasoning as to why this movie is gay, and it's because, according to him, there are numerous same-sex couples in the background. The main character's sister is a lesbian, and the one uncle in the movie is very flamboyant, which makes him seem gay. I will never understand conservatives' view on movies. I never will. I just have to accept that. I will never understand it. Because you're okay with heterosexuals existing, you're okay with white people existing, but you're just not okay with anything else existing. You are not judging the movie on any aspects of the film that actually make it a fucking film. You are judging it on your bigotry. How is having gay people in a movie woke? Gay people exist in real life. So it would be safe to assume that they also exist in movies, correct? Because heterosexuals exist in real life and they also exist in movies. That's fucking life. That's how life is. That's not woke. That's just living. That's just living. Like, it would be different, right? If it was a movie directed towards kids and there was like a graphically sexual scene, then I could understand someone being like, hey, I don't want my kids watching that. Okay, I get that. Yeah, but they're not doing that. They're literally just elements. You're upset over an animated movie about fire and water. Do you know how lame that is, James? Or then we have the animated movie Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken, which he also deemed as wokish, because at one point in the movie, a teenage girl mentioned that she was going to prom with another girl. A male character wears nail polish, which is bad. That's woke. They're trying to make your kids gay. Get them the heck out of this theater. First off, it wouldn't be woke if you saw two teenage girls going to prom together. How is it woke if she just mentions it? Oh yeah, that's right. Because movies can only consist of heterosexual couples. Because if not, then kids, and more importantly James, is gonna get the impression that it's okay to be gay. And that is definitely not something that James is. James would never be gay. He's definitely not gay, and he definitely doesn't obsess over gay people in movies. Definitely. James. Yeah. James is the type of guy that would see a man wearing a dress and start having an aneurysm. Meanwhile, reading the Bible and looking at pictures of Jesus in a dress and calling him the greatest thing ever. But now let's go to the movie review that I know that we've all been waiting for, and that is his take on the movie Barbie, where he says, of course, the film isn't helped by its complete lack of anything resembling a likable character. Barbie starts out chipper and friendly, but is also self-obsessed, as well as entirely oblivious to and dismissive of the emotional needs of her boyfriend. Yeah, that's kind of the f***ing point, because they're Barbies. That's the point of the movie, is that she's the main character, and that he's not. He's secondary. That's the fucking point. Wow, okay, that was the most brain-dead thing I've ever read in my entire f***ing life. Let's go to the woke elements. Take every bullshit professional victim vagina hat-wearing talking point ever screeched out of the face of a dumpy blue-haired lesbian at a women's march, and it's in this movie. What? Chillax. I love the fact that these white conservative men always act like they're so macho, they're so tough, but then as soon as they watch a movie that doesn't have to do with them, they start losing their fucking minds.
Hi, Ken. Hi, Ken.
Hi, Ken.
I got us both ice cream. Cool.
Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Barbie.
Why are you so upset, bro? Why are you throwing out all these insults? Do you need me to get you a bottle? Do you need me to get your mommy for you? Oh, actually, scratch that. I take that back. Do you want me to get your daddy for you? Do you need your daddy to talk to? Did he not play catch with you enough when you were a kid? Are you still sad about that? And you're taking it out on the fucking Barbie movie? The word patriarchy is unironically and awkwardly shoehorned in no fewer than 11 times. I counted. Oh my god, dude. Do you know how f***ing lame you have to be to count how many times they use a specific word in the movie? What? What? And also, it's never awkwardly shoehorned in. There is a point to why it's in the movie. If you paid attention, you would understand why it's in the movie. Even though the film's prologue touts Barbie as a breaker of baby doll chains, the film writ large is a 2-hour deconstruction of Barbie, tearing it to pieces throughout, while also spending no fewer than 2 minutes on a monologue detailing how Barbie is emblematic of everything wrong with the world, especially the patriarchy. Unrealistic self-image, consumerism, capitalism, blah, blah, blah. You almost got it, James. You're so close. You're so close. Because that is kind of the point. You are getting it, because Barbie did in fact break a lot of norms when it came to dolls, but in doing so it also plays a part in upholding all of these unrealistic beauty standards that men and companies or you have on women by making what a man would consider to be the pitch perfect woman, skinny, nice ass, big boobs, white, things that you, my good sir, still uphold, and the thing that the movie was saying is not a good thing. Maybe talk to a woman for once, or maybe actually better yet, just listen to one. How about that? Men are pigs who objectify women. Did the movie get that wrong? That's kind of your whole thing, right? Like you do that. Like you care if a woman is fat in a movie. We've already established that. So yes, that is correct. The movie is correct, James. And there's a lot more that he wrote about this movie, but I don't want to dive into every specific detail, so I'm just going to sum it up with this. He mentions that all the men in the movie are dumb, and they shouldn't be because they're men, and men aren't dumb, according to James. He also mentions the 3-minute speech that America Ferrara had that he didn't like because it's narcissistic, according to him. And then he ends the review by saying a slur. So yeah, as we can see, James is a completely normal guy with normal opinions on movies, and definitely not insane. I will be the first to admit, I didn't think Barbie was a masterpiece. I know, I'm sorry guys. I had my issues with it. But you know what I didn't have an issue with? The messaging, the women. I had issues with some of the writing. I thought that tonally it was a bit inconsistent here and there. Kind of felt all over the place. Some of the stuff in the real world looked pretty dull. But overall, I thought it was a good time. I thought it was a good movie. I thought it was a good message. And I even gave in and I bought the Sherpa. I know I'm one of them, you know, sue me. But that being said, after watching Barbie, the thing I didn't take away from it was, wow, that movie hates me. Because if you actually watched the movie and paid attention to what was going on, there was literally an entire subplot dedicated towards Ken, where he went from being a guy that was obsessed with this woman that never wanted him to begin with, to becoming content with who he is as a person, with who he is as a man, and that he doesn't have to give up a part of himself to be with the woman of his so-called dreams, because he realizes that he is enough. Hence the Sherpa. I think that the only thing I have left to say to James is maybe go outside, maybe see what life is like, and actually see that there are people out there that aren't you. There are people of color out there. There are homosexuals. I imagine James is the type of guy that when he's walking down the street and he sees two people holding hands that are of the same sex, he immediately just covers his eyes. He needs to shield himself from that. Oh, what a lovely day it is outside. Just hearing the birds chirping in the air, the sun is shining, and what is that?
Take that shit off, you slut.
It can't be.
Take your fucking top off right now.
Just don't make eye contact. As long as I just keep going, I should be good.
Let's see those goddamn nipples.
Where am I, actually?
I'm too flashy, cameras they be flashing, get into my bills, ballin' hard just like I'm Bradley.
But yeah, guys, I think that just about does it, because I am on my last brain cell trying to understand anything that this website is saying. If I could throw a website in the trash, it would be this website. I just wrinkle it up and just bye-bye. But with that being said, I just want to thank you all for watching. We just passed 1,000 subscribers. I just want to say thank you. I'm super appreciative, but I will catch you all in the next video when I get a little jiggy with it.
Running all these tracks, no, you can't outlet me. Bitch, I am the gift, How can you out-rap me? It's automatic, you better panic. I'm underground, but I'm in the attic, no Dan.